Welcome to an episode of Potion Sword Run. This is Original Seed coming at you from my living room on the down low because I'm wanted by the police. Whatever you do not like this video. I say do not like this video. Pictures of me have surfaced breaking out of the Capitol and I'm wanted for questioning. So please don't like this video. Keep it on the down low. And it looks like shit has hit the fan once again. Microsoft reminding people why they're one of the most hated corporations to ever walk the earth. Xbox Live will be doubling in price. That is right. Another reminder that we are paying to access our internet on Xbox and on PlayStation and on Nintendo when it comes to online gaming. Now, it gets even worse on Xbox because at least on PlayStation and Nintendo you can access free-to-play games without having to pay. But Xbox you can't, and it's always been that way since its birth. And as console gamers, we didn't really know better, but now 20 years later, about 18 but still, we gotta get with the times, and the times are saying that gamers on consoles having to pay to access their games online is outdated. And this move by Xbox is tone deaf, to say the least. It's only pointing out the major flaws in its system. Now, here's not to say that Xbox Live is overrated. The service is top notch, second to none. But Xbox Live should be an incentive to buy Xbox over PlayStation or any other console or system. And you shouldn't be charged to play your games online anymore. Now, we know why they're doing this, and that's because they want everybody to move over to Gamepass Ultimate, where you have access to Xbox Live and Gamepass for a monthly fee of $15. So when you compare that to the new Xbox Live price alone, then it's pretty much no-brainer to choose Gamepass Ultimate. But there's also another darker side to this, because when you compare both services now, obviously Game Pass sounds like a bargain, which in time is only going to lead to a Game Pass price increase, especially if they don't get rid of Xbox Live price tag altogether. Now, this new price hike is only going to be affecting new subscribers. Anybody who already subscribes to Xbox Live will be able to renew at the same price. So again, I think the focus is on new people who join the Xbox ecosystem. It'll be better for them to choose Game Pass Ultimate. And once you get into a revolving service like Game Pass Ultimate or Netflix or any other such thing, you get accustomed to them, so you're most likely to stick with them. And that's Xbox long-term thinking. Now in the short term, they're gonna get a lot of heat, and they should. I mean, they're doubling the price. Not adding it by a few bucks, not 10%, doubling the price of Xbox Live, which is ridiculous. But there's a lot of ridiculous things going around. Another example is a developer from Deadlight saying that it is boring hearing all these complaints about people who want to access their game. People with disabilities when it comes to color blindness and being blind altogether. Gamepass Plays tags Steven Spawn or Spawn, COO of Able Gamers, who represents gamers with disabilities and their needs, with a clip of a dev disparaging its colorblind player base.
Alright, JC, it's getting really boring just blabbing about colorblind mode all the time. We've heard it a million times, we know. Continuing to badger us about it isn't going to change anything. If it gets done, it'll get done when we have time to do it, or if somebody decides that it's something that should be done. You know, we know that a lot of players want it, we know it's not a small number, we get it.
And so he brought this to the attention of the developers themselves, at least their Twitter handle, and they responded with the following, and I quote, "Thank you for bringing this to our attention. This is not indicative of the views of the team, and we deeply apologize for any frustration or harm this may have caused." And through the whole kerfuffle, they had to pretty much reveal that they have a colorblind mode in the works, and they have been working on it for quite a while, and they didn't want to announce it in such a way, but they thought they pretty much had to given the backlash that they were receiving. So Dead by Deadlight now has a colorblind mode and will be releasing soon to those who need it. And it begs the question, why don't developers think about this in the first place? We know that it costs money and more resources to develop for, but there's a player base out there. And after all, video games are supposed to be bringing people together, so they should be thinking about this when they're making their game in the first place. And there are a lot of companies out there that are doing this. Some of them have to be forced, like Cyberpunk 2077 I think had to be forced. And then there's other developers like Naughty Dog who are leading the industry when it comes to accessibility for players who need it. At least when it comes to colorblindness. A perfect example is the Uncharted series and The Last of Us 2. So although I understand the frustration of the developer who said that it gets boring having to hear the same complaints over and over again. But as the gamers rightly point out, it's boring having to keep on complaining about the same stuff over and over again. Especially since this game has been out for like 4 years. If we really want to be nicer to each other, it would have been much more kind to say, hey guys, we're working on it, we hear your frustrations, I'm frustrated too all around, but it's coming guys, please bear with us, we'll have it out for you. Something in that tone, something along those lines, just be genuine man, don't be a dick, and it would have been all good. Now I've never played the game, I don't intend to, not because of this, just because I just don't. But developers gotta understand, it's a two-way street. If you guys want to be treated with respect, then you gotta treat your player base with respect. We're people too. They're people too. And they got needs. Especially when it comes to playing your games. Don't take them for granted because then they won't be there at all. The same goes for Xbox and Microsoft. Don't take your player base for granted. Because they'll move over to PlayStation. They'll move over to Nintendo. They'll move over to PC, where you don't have to pay the extra money to play your Xbox Gamepass games online. That's gonna do it for this episode. Remember, when shit is the fan, and you have corporations out there not only asking you to pay a fee to access your games online, but then double that fee with no explanation thus far, run.